The doctor in a promissory
What up, y'all? It's your boy Magnus. Back on folks. All I do is give a talk to the real folk. We done paved the way in the real way. And you already know how I start my shit off, man. Just some good ass music, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break it down like this real quick. How y'all doing out there, man? I got a lot of questions about this. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. It's gonna come a time where we done woke slow. And I'm gonna be on some other shit. You know? Now I gotta be free from
Working with
bullshit.
good.
That's why I stay true to myself, true to my folks. So let's get into this music and we're gonna get into the game.
Yeah. Dedicate to everybody that's been a part of the struggle, you know what I'm saying? Hold up. Everybody that's got loved ones locked up in their system. Say, man, if your people locked up, you need to stay down with your folks. The commentary is very necessary, don't doubt about it. Somebody to represent for y'all. Hold up, I'm back on the slab, back on the block. What to be the animate the frozen water about the boy, giving image shining when I step out the door. I thought I had a double chain, told to give us a phone. In the same damn day, I went to the Bentley lot. On the show, floor, I got the 30 thing was I was high. Get all your buckles already do that, cause I was all on the internet to get my shine back. Taking time to that, living with my mind, everybody wanna beat it, cause we don't just put it in, they like the pimp is. The shrimp, if I like a pimp, it's back, low, leg, low, you say it's back, oh. It was free, pimp free, but now I see the pimp free. Old school, baby, that was before I let the TV. Yeah, will take my bezel on his back to take the box. They locked up my body, but my mind never stops. I was plotting, it's planning, it's scheming every day. Better for my release so I can steal his game away from all these clone type niggas trying to sound like Pimp C. He's okay, but he's not deep. Long shot, cuz by trying to steal the beat. The boys might run BT, but check we run the street. And he is one beat, that for life, we the trio. When you see a pimp shining trick, tell me how you feel.
I felt like my real life ain't no problem.
I ever hit PCC in my time and population with the real OGs. I seen a whole lot of pain here doing they bid. Only for Wayne and you trying to get off of they bid. What's up like ours, a bunch of iron and bars, bunch of player hate stickers, talking to the guards. Man, a whole penitentiary being ran by frauds. Some of them kept it 100, most of them was frauds. Seen a whole lot of junk, hard in and bucket. Some big time dealers, kidnappers and busters. Killers and players, I see some here with their hands, but I still don't believe it. Here ain't no paper, no man. But you still don't believe it. Ain't no paper, no man. Love. Modern day slavery down here, you know what I'm saying? Love.
Commissary is very necessary.
Yeah. Dedicate to everybody ain't gonna never make it up out there, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing life. Keep y'all head up. Don't get fed up. Do your time, don't let your time with you. Young Kim,
Young PM.
I want to share with you real quick the #1 generating customers.
My bad, y'all, you know. Right. Don't get into it though, you know what I'm saying? I still don't believe depending no place for no man. Yeah, man.
You are now tuned in to the best. You know what it is. It's Jazzy Fizzle. The return of Sweet Jones. PMC. Yeah. UGK, baby. Giving our lead.
Yeah, man, fresh. I can dig it.
Fizzle. Sing it, jacket. You gotta make it. I'm with them guns crazy. You ain't gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind. You gotta make it. Think about this here for later. You gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind.
This is a real flag,
Let me put this on my mind.
put it down
Get down good just like a real sissy. Cheat on your man, money, how you get a hissy. I ain't trying to lock you down until your time. I'm just trying to put the dick off in your mind. Go put your spine like a Viking supposed to keep your nigga in your life a little young nigga won't you would stay afraid of paper of ammunition for the devil. Getting our business going to that other level. If you niggas can't get it, can't see, can't touch it, can't be, cause the niggas ain't me. And girl, I don't dream everything come through these hoes trying to choose me, but bitch, I'm trying to fuck with you, fuck with you.
You gotta make it. I'm going with them guns crazy. You ain't gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind. You gotta make it. Think about this here for later. You gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind. Let me put this on your mind. She got a nigga at home, of course you do. Cause if you didn't, I think something was wrong with you. I can't see a nigga splitting up, divorcing you. You're hot like Cayenne, proportion you. Nah, image is everything, time is money. Let me beat right quick and ski on your tummy. Chill up a shot of Patron, roll up under the kush. Kinda old school, still like it on the push. Now he's your provider, pays the bill. And me, I provide dick hard as steel. For my last birthday, she arranged him a large. Graduated from the driveway to the garage. You gotta make it. I'm with them guns crazy. You ain't gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind. You gotta make it. Think about this here for later. You ain't gotta make them. Baby, let me put this on your mind. Let me put this on your mind.
It's your boy Ali Jones. Now you can catch me sipping something with a cork in the bottle, smoking bad on the perp on the 4th for the model. I don't party much. When I'm through, I blow through it. I confess, I talk about it more than I do it. I'm a vacation type like Ossie Monty on the beach with a young Sherry Bell and Fonzie. No court, no block. Ball linen, fresh card, no socks.
Here rolling in a can of GG50. On the weekend it's the LS 460. Overseas, stand wheel on the right side, and you wouldn't believe that it's 745. Where you going? What it is? What's your name? DSP jeans and Hardy True Religion.
What y'all smoking on, man?
Make some old chips, had a few whips, old school roll whips. Flow through the mall, dipping downtown. Roll dope cruiser with the top break down. Clothes and the walls all open on the private coach, and we gon' go let it burn on the love. Whoa. You gotta make it. Oh, with them guns crazy. You ain't gotta make them. No, baby, let me put this on. You gotta make it. Think about this here for later. Think about it, girl. You gotta make it. Baby, let me put this on. Let me put this on. It sounds so beautiful, baby. Don't you agree? Yeah. Let me put it on your mind. Yeah. PMC. UGK for life, man.
the kid for life, man. Y'all have my boy, man. Thanks, man.
That's one of my videos. Thank you very much for that. As you know,
We rolling through it though. We getting to it. We getting to it, baby.
Foreign hoes. Let's go. Yeah, man. Talking about
Naked soul.
my first solo album, bitch. I ain't never had one before. They dropped that other shit while I was in the penitentiary. You know what I'm talking about? Got out and dropped that comp on their ass and fucked them up. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you slip and slid to another lid. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know
Slid to another lid.
MC Storm in the naked soul of Sweet Jones. I'm there in the page. I stay paid. I like ladies. Old school cars and love it made. I got hoes.
Happy birthday, Malcolm X. You would have been 90 years old. He's still around.
I got to grab it. Foreign cars and foreign hoes. Gator slippers and big rolls. Up my phone, they broke and I got a big phone. Stand up in your bitch and make her touch her toes. Make your girl lose her mind when I penetrate from behind. Come it up, keep me down for mine. Baby, I said, baby, I'm
I'm bring back. I'm bringing out to the East Coast.
touch your nipples. And most people get with it. Step on the scene. I got Malcolm X and purple. Now it's absolutely. It tastes good. We, you my kind. Lord, and say, yes, get on. And it told me fucking baby. I got to have it. I'm fucking baby. I got to break it. Hold up. Smoke some, yes. Trademark on top. Wait. Saying, counting out the top. I think it's up to it. Hold up. Yeah, motherfucker. All your bitch ass niggas out there buying it on King Johnny. Some more cloud ass diamonds, nigga. If you come in the wrong look like Hurricane Katrina just hit, nigga. Nigga, take you, get them plates off the chain, nigga. Take them off of your game, nigga. Step it up, nigga. Run this in your watch. Every time you nigga need to get big diamonds, you go to here. Know what I'm talking about? I see. Every man, fuck
Chopping up legs, baby.
Forward charging a nigga, know what I'm talking about? Give me something quick. Fucking hoes don't know how to treat a nigga when he comes to the stove. Eat a dick. I ain't buying no more feelings, man. Them hoes ain't got no good customer service over there, man. My shit ain't fucked up. You don't give a damn about the fucking ride. Know what I'm talking about? You fucking hoes and put lie. I'ma get it now. What you need, man? I got the apple.
Yeah.
Kicking it back.
a spell, or shall I say, think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October, my toast. When my granddaddy came sober, he had all the fingers in the toes. Now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. Yeah, 18 years younger than my mama, but I really got beaten with the girl of trauma. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one's a girl. Let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep drinking. Till he won't down, you would tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. But mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative, over woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my dog. When I think back, I recall a man off the family tree. My right hand, Papa Doc, I see. Slipping from a boy to a man, so I always had a father with my biological didn't bother. Taking care of this, so who am I to pick up? Not a bad tigger, but I'm rocking Pop's liver. But you can never say that it's like this. 5 kids at 21, believe you got a right to. You ain't know while I check the scene with the Portuguese mother at the age of 14. The same age, front page, no fuss, but I bet you all you know they live longer than us. Never been seen now, that's where you're wrong. But give the man a taste and he's gone. Not no sleep to a jazz tune. I can hear his head banging on the wall in the next room. I get the pillow when hope I don't think I'm with this man the cuss secret on the verbatim. Telling me how to raise my boy unless he's taking over. I said, Pop, maybe when you're older. Oh, we laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the brew. When they reminisce over you, for real. Like that. For real. I reminisce so you never forget this. The days of way back, so many men witness the fitness. I think the first letter had to eat word in this joint. Listen close as I prove my point. T to the horror, why I did you and I meet for the big boots fighting in the street. But only you saw what took many time to see. I dedicate this to you for believing in me. Rain or shine, just in any weather. But when my Pam holds the family together, my Uncle Doc's the greatest, better get the latest. If we're talking about a car, Uncle Sterling got the latest. I tried to be live since I got no choice and run my own business like my aunt Joyce. So keep rocking at me, enough respect you when they reminisce over you. Listen, just listen to the funky songs as I rock hard, and that's where it's gone. To the one and only, never be another. What's my brother? Trouble to you, Roy. It's like that, y'all. Don't stop. We out.
Yeah, smooth, man. Taking it back, you know. A few more tracks to go.
Yeah, you pronounce my name. Any questions? I bring many blessings with my man High Tech, and he from the Natty. We make the sky crash, feel the fly track. Get your hands up like a hijack. Fists in the air, keep them there like natural mystic or smoke when it's a revolutionary. They ask me what I'm writing for. I'm writing to show you what I'm fighting for. They tell me to tell them. If it's hard, try spelling it phonetically. Not then just let it be like Nina Simone. Don't listen, B. Even when we suffer losses, I count the victory. Sometimes it's far in between. I'm sad to say you got my brain crowded like sunset on a Saturday. I know my son wept cause his dad's away. Stop crying, be strong for your mama is what I had to say to my little man named Imani. Start the party, my crew hot, dirty. I like to blast from a shot. It's got to be the man High Tech, the quality who make you rock your body. Start the party, my crew hot, dirty. I like to blast from a Shawty, it's got to be the man hot track and Carly. I remember when it all started. Back in the day with me and mom first party. I tech from the beginning, I stayed advanced. A young chameleon, adapt to any circumstance. PJ, never been a lazy. Stayed on my hustle, concentrate to get the paper bigger. Stay focused, while other cats stay hopeless. My niggas stay high, I stay low. Stacking my to get a full culture, bitch. It ain't over. With a gusto, keep getting that provo. It's hot tech on the track like Flojo. But you ain't even know I had Frodo. Yo, make you rock your body, rock the party, cool hot girls. I like the blast from a shawty. It's got to be the man hot track. You got
Yeah, man.
Say my name, like Destiny's Child. Shine bright like my girl, heavenly smile. Oh, my suit on steel. I'm tighter than the jeans that be hucking black hips, 70s style, like Shaka Khan. Ain't nobody set the stage ablaze like my crew. We burn it down like sage and smoke clubs where we party. Holla at my spit, kick it, pheromone, De La Soul, Common Sense, and my man Biz Marquis. Start the party, my crew hot, 30. I'm like the blast from a shawty. It's got to be the man hot tap, the quality who make you rock the body. Start the party, my crew hot, 30. I'm like the blast from a shawty. It's got to be the man hot tap, the quality. You got to dance.
We're gonna bring it over to the one and only Infinite. Breaking it down. You remember Infinite back in the day, y'all?
Yeah.
He's a fit inside millions, you know the dealie. Oh my god, I'm on a different flex at night. Do everything's crisp like pouring Guinness down the end of a chalice pipe. I got you hooked like a cuss, you looking for cookies. Chop, chop, tied him up with blood in the cup. I made you think twice to this, so kick back and drink your whites. Both talks are negative, but some are dead while they live.
Both talks are negative, but some are dead while they live. Hold on. This is music.
Doing Sean moves like that old lady scour the basins. Carry from crime scenes, not to exact the destination like cross town. Task force conveyed the grounds. Everybody slowly in the hallway. Surveillance in your lobby. Father, I can't make this a hobby alone. I turn that eight sideways like a show. Two road show, a diamond cuts a diamond cut stone. Dirty horses hold dirty crimes. Here today, tomorrow you're gone. It's on these hidden cameras. Glare these 40 calibers. Stay sharp. About to feel the future is on. From dusk to dawn, these only hook is selling happily fluff. This life is purple up to hell, but in these ages of lust. I gotta get mine. Now every man's bush inside the nightclub, and let's see who can get the biggest chain or the best playing these games. Gotta be the baddest, the random jam in the back, around the corner where the lights they smoke sessions of cigars and blow smoke. Pull off the last of it, it dropped on the floor. I stepped on it and put a twist in it. Your cats better be listening. It's all about in the wrong place and at the wrong time, and you can ask the blind for lessons, feel the lessons on the side. Golden opportunity space. Some man is not for cutthroat, and I ain't watching no face, and that's a fact. Don't prove that. Just dealing with fears. Both talks are negative, but some are dead while they live. I gotta get mine.
Two more tracks, y'all. Two more tracks. We're gonna go up to 12 o'clock. And then we're gonna get into this game. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all ready.
Yes.
I hope y'all ready.
Okay, this is what you guys do. You wait 10 minutes and then roll up in that shit, alright?
Yo, I tell you about the drama of this wild girl for real. She was wilder than most of them streets cats for real. The Black Pamela Anderson, Bob Wire, a similar Chris. Like a gold-plated Desert Eagle, Chanel is your sky's the limit. A lady stuck underneath. Watch all the hustlers, giving up respect to your knees. Have mad connects, but some of them would have to risk life to make $1 million. Was the biggest goal on the right, she just engraved it. Small right on the outside of the barrel, couldn't really notice it unless you look close. Like chocolate ghost, right by the light. Oh, she juggled on the corner with a blown wall, bleaching through nights, a couple slugs, dark blocks, always run hot, heat up your spot. Anything done comes to consequence. Sometimes a suspense shot, forever guide you as long as stay strong. The real can relate to these words, the last one. You wanna hear about Shanice slipping in this cold world, walks with a shoddy response for nobody. Streetwise, on the street level, they try to take yours. They try to run your mouth with these arcs between your jaws. She knows how to jock hop cameras on 4 paws. Master right under her lingerie in the top drawer. Sometimes you feel she gotta rock a vest for the types of work she's involved with. Rob all your goods, make you strip. One night, a bachelor got locked up in the west. Say, yeah, they done it too fast. The house owner heard a gun blast. A wild one, we beat one right through his ceiling. Now everybody gotta leave, boxes swapped up from trees. Shanice was on the way out, but she bucked the girl she had drama with. Back once but never seen since. She's in the eyes of others, but two backs to hear it told. Maybe in this last verse and watch this drama unfold.
Baby, you know I'm top of the world.
Gotta get mine. She was a girl that didn't hesitate to deal with your case. The other girl, her man was draping it and all in her face. Didn't love the drama, but dealt with it when came to it. Like the flame fluid, and a lighter sink to it. Half drunk, her man grabbed Shanice by the arm. She made a quick dip down in her kick. She kept her arms tight right beside her ankle bracelet. She pulled it out and beat up fair grades. Whoever stood around, she put you involved. The girl she picked up on inside the abdomen. Her man picked up one inside the arm for trying to hold on. At the same time, she fled the scenery. On the way out, she dropped a little ankle bracelet, but she figured it out. Only until she got home, she seen it gone new to wrist. Turn on the TV, city news, looking for clues. But months later, the time dragged on and caught up. It's coming back around like 360 before it shifted. Twice hard, you either get turned or get time. Some stellars get to turn you quick and instant. No fine, somebody knocked the door a couple lifetimes out in the cold. She didn't see nobody standing outside through the repo. That's when she made a wrong move and opened up the door. The kid jumped out from behind the wall, holding the big ball. Bare face, didn't have a mask. That's why she recognized her from the past. Kid started to blast blue one for the incident too. In the neck back free for his cousin that she killed a couple months back. She killed him and collapsed and found him sleeping in the doorway. Running the hallway, what goes around becomes the long way.
You already know, man. That's how we get down these parts of town. Let me get into this game real quick. The last little video.
Over the last 10 years, responsibility.
Rain. I'm being her mama give y'all this one. You know what I'm saying?
I got a job with the mall making cheese. So once I pick up delivery, turn for keys. Yeah, they got me like flunky money. I'm jumping around town with 10 kilos of selling turkey. In a hole in the suitcase. With $500,000 on my lap, front of my face. And I'm trying to ignore it. But sometimes I get tempted to go just to make a run for it. The thought all makes me shiver. Damn, what if I get caught? They throw me floating in a Hudson River. But if I escape, I'll be a shake for my life. But they might keep my kid and my wife. See, I'm supposed to make a stop to a knockdown spot, run up the block and make another drop. But I got something else in mind. So at the next stop sign, I pull out and load up the nine. I got the money in the hit. Went through the block and I stopped cause I ain't dropping off the block of it. Then I thought of a plan. So I drove to my house to get my girl and my little mock of it. Then I thought of a plan. So I drove to my house to get my girl and my little man. Come on, baby, pack your stuff, get ready, get ready.
Damn, why your face so sweet?
Just hurry up, I'm on the bitch. I'm a dead man walking understand we got a split. I put the locks on the door. Started packing the Gucci bags like I was going on a world tour. Grab the luggage and the gun. Come on, we gotta go. They got a brother on the run. They got the shit. What? They got the whole shit. I want that son of a bitch dead. I want it dead. I want it dead. Now I'm driving and I'm looking at my passport. I'm out of here soon as I hit Kennedy Airport. Loaded the alcohol in that. I don't believe it. Somebody can sit up, stuck in traffic. I'm getting nervous as hell, Jake. I'm like a document to pull my right up and drive me. Which time I go and then I break up. Full of supply to my waist though. The enemy is on attack. You the nine that got the hammer and the fire that hit his back. I gotta take my respect. My bullets hitting crazy, mafia members in the neck. But then my car full of truck. Put in another clip. Cause I ain't giving up nothing, my brother. Hit me rolling up the trip. Running at my car, only missing me for a little engine. Step on the gas pedal, I bet my girl was hard. Man, they only hit her in the upper arm. Now I'm driving on sidewalk, making sharp turns. My gun is in the back, it's a heartburn. I got the car shaking wildly. I made a turn, and then I took the beamer in a dark alley. They go right past all the things stuff done. Yeah, they got a bubble on the run. I want his family dead. I want his house right to the ground. I want to go to jail now. The next thing I know, it was daylight. And I was sleeping with the engine running all night. I started pulling on my house. Wake up, stupid, we gotta go. Pulled out the alley, then I did. Looked out and picked up some nine and put my rounds in the clip. You know I'm heading south, no doubt. Don't care about my way, about long as it's a hideout. Wanna leave me across the border. Hope the two will chase it. The fill up some tank and get a drink of water. Pulling over the fucking ride. Just when I noticed the swimmers they coming up on my left side. Then I fucking started wearing it. Then I looked, it was the Luciano family. They never come and started crying. My finger on the trigger. Pulled it. Started crying. Now I'm hitting all my back. Dropping them fast when I'm blasting, blood splashing. Then I finally done it. I took them all out, but I caught one in the stomach. Now I'm looking for survival. So I ran up on the side of the car and hit the drop. And then I let go. This is my brother, the only one left to storm Louisiana. So I stuck for the sucker. Put my guns to his head. What's up now, motherfucker? He said, wait, I wanna talk. I put his brains on the sidewalk. Another life I had to wait. He fell on his back and then I spit right in his skinny face. He saw the barrel of the devil's gun. Nothing no longer got a bubble on the run.
Now, it's time to get into this paragraph. I mean, the name of this show today is called Estoppel. The reason why it's called Estoppel Yeah, man. So the reason why this show is called Estoppel is because I'll give y'all the meaning right here, real quick, real slow. You know what I'm saying? That means you can't go back on what you said. And you said what you said. But then it can become provocation that can be admissible in court of law. Or to whatever court you be in, you know? So let's listen. What is a stop? What is a stop?
Estoppel is a collective name given to a group of legal doctrines in common law legal systems, whereby a person is prevented from making assertions that are contradictory to his or her prior position on certain matters before the court.
Ah, you hear that? You can't go back on your prior position. That's called a stop. Go back on your word, you know what I'm saying? It's a man's word is his bond, right? That's how we try to preach it and keep the fellow in the bottle, you know what I'm saying? So listen to it. Stop me, how far I got you.
Position on certain matters before the court, the person is said to be estopped. Estoppel may operate by way of preventing someone from asserting a particular fact in court, or exercising a certain right, or from bringing a particular claim. Black's Law Dictionary defines estoppel as a bar or impediment raised by the law, which precludes a man from alleging or from denying a certain fact or state of facts, in consequence of his previous allegation or denial or conduct or admission, or in consequence of a final adjudication of the matter in a court of law. There are many different types of estoppel which can arise, but the common thread between them is that a person is restrained from asserting a particular position in law where it would be inequitable to do so. By way of illustration, if a landlord promises the tenant that he will not exercise his right to terminate a lease, and relying upon that promise the tenant spends money improving the premises, the doctrine of promissory estoppel may prevent the landlord from exercising the right to terminate, even though his promise might not otherwise have been legally binding as a contract. The landlord is precluded from asserting a specific right. If a person brings legal proceedings in one country claiming that a second person negligently injured them and the courts of that country determine that there was no negligence, then under the doctrine of issue estoppel the first person will not normally be able to argue before the courts of another country that the second person was negligent, whether in respect of the same claim or a related claim. The first person is precluded from asserting a specific claim. Estoppel is an equitable doctrine. Accordingly, any person wishing to assert an estoppel must normally come to the court with clean hands. The doctrine of estoppel, which may prevent a party from asserting a right, is often confused with the doctrine of waiver, which relates to relinquishing a right once it has arisen. It also substantially overlaps with, but is distinct from, the equitable doctrine of laches.
Get it, y'all? So it means you gotta say one thing and then come back and go and try to go back on what you said. You know what I'm saying? You made a statement, and you let it be known that's how you felt. So now, to go back on what you said, we consider it estoppel because it truly isn't admissible at this point. You know? Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? For real. So we're gonna keep it real in the field and do what we gotta do. You know, there's a lot of estoppel situations going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like with this whole COVID-19 thing, you know what I'm saying? First they said one thing, then they said the next. That's considered Estoppel. You kind of really put up a theory, unless it's based in fact, actuality. So now, that's a definition of Estoppel for y'all. Y'all know it, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break it down for y'all real quick, real slick. But what I really want to talk to y'all about Malcolm X, how revolutionary that brother was. So we're gonna run down the most revolutionary speech of Malcolm X to show that he's a man that stayed steadfast in the way he was thinking. But he changed and stopped paddling all the time because he doesn't have cognitive disease. He became one of the most prolific speakers of our generation, of our time, of our century, almost. Our revolutionary Malcolm X transcended all lines, racial lines. He was a revolutionary to his extent. When he came, the first thing he did was considered a radical. And he's praised him for the fact that everything that he said before still resonates today. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pay homage to Michael Boaz. His most revolutionary speeches. So up to Michael, Malcolm X.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. We have to get to the cause of it all, or the root of it all. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we are dealing in hate. But first, I would like to congratulate and give praise to the Negro, so-called Negro leaders and so-called Negro organizations. And excuse me if I say so-called, it's hard for me to just outright say Negro when I know what that word Negro really means. The person whom you have come to know as Ronald Stokes, we know him as Brother Ronald, one of the most religious persons who displayed the highest form of morals of any black person anywhere on this earth. And as one of the previous speakers pointed out who knew him, everyone who knew him had to give him credit for being a good man, a clean man, an intelligent man, and an innocent man when he was murdered. The Negro, so-called Negro organizations and leaders should be given great credit for their failure or refusal to let the white man divide them and use them one against the other during this crisis. As Reverend Wilfred Wilson pointed out, I think it was 8 years ago today that the Supreme Court handed down the desegregation decision. And despite the fact that 8 years have gone past, that decision hasn't been implemented yet. I don't have that much faith. I don't have that much confidence. I don't have that much patience. And I don't have that much ignorance If the Supreme Court, which is the highest law-making body in the country, can pass it can't get even 8% compliance within 8 years because it's for black people, then my patience has run out. When black people who are being oppressed become impatient, they say that's emotional. Please, when black people who are being deprived of their citizenship, not only of their civil rights, but their human rights, become impatient, become fed up,
Google
don't want to
Analytics,
wait
I
any
found
longer,
a better
then they
solution
say
for
that's
us.
emotional.
Oribi captures.
The Negro, so-called
So what
Negro
happened?
leaders and organizations should be praised. They should be congratulated. They should be complimented. Because out of all of them combined, the white man has not yet found one who will play the role of Uncle Tom. But yet he has found no Tom, no puppet, no parrot who is still dumb enough in 1962 to represent the injustices that he's afflicting against our people. We don't care what your religion is. We don't care what organization you belong to. We don't care how far in school you went or didn't go. We don't care what kind of job you have. We have to give you credit for shocking the white man by not letting him divide you and use you one against the other. In the past, the greatest weapon the white man has had has been his ability to divide and conquer. As Jackie Robinson pointed out beautifully on the television last night, 4/5 of the world isn't white. Isn't that what Jackie said? And if 4/5 of the world is dark, how is it possible for 1/5 to rule, oppress, exploit, dominate, and brutalize the 4/5 who are in the majority? How do they do it? Divide and conquer. If I take my hand and slap you, you don't even feel it. It might sting you because these digits are separated. But all I have to do to put you back in your place is bring those digits together. This is what the white man has done to you and me. He has divided us and used us one against the other. But today, thanks to Allah, you can say thanks to God or thanks to Jesus or thanks to Jehovah, whatever you want. But as a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have been taught to say thanks to Allah. And that's what Jesus said. Jesus called on Allah. He said, Allah, Allah, lama asabakani. I believe what's good for Jesus is good for you. If Allah was good enough for Jesus to call upon, I think he should be good enough for you to call upon. Since the so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us, I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity. Despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences, let us remember that we are not brutalized because we're Baptist. We're not brutalized because we're Methodist. We're not brutalized because we're Muslim. We're not brutalized because we're Catholic. We're brutalized because we are black people in America. Back in slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill them. They send some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro.
Dropshipping is dead. Let me actually explain why. There's a new business model that's literally better in every single way. And
the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. Put them back on the plantation. The house Negroes could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master to hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick." When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they go to hell. They felt the sting of the master. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. I'm a field Negro.
Mr. Moderator, Reverend Cleave, and Milt, brothers and sisters, and friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we had an audience this large and didn't realize that there were some enemies present. This afternoon, we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. But before we get into it, since this is the year of the ballot or the bullet, I would like to clarify some things that refer to me personally concerning my own personal position. I'm still a Muslim. That is, my religion is still Islam. My religion is still Islam. I still credit Mr. Muhammad for what I know and what I am. He's the one who opened my eyes. At present, I'm the minister of the newly founded Muslim Mosque Incorporated, which has its offices in the Teresa Hotel right in the heart of Harlem. That's the Black Belt in New York City. And when we realize that Adam Clayton Powell is a Christian minister, he has Abyssinia Baptist Church, but at the same time, he's more famous for his political struggle. And Dr. King is a Christian minister from Atlanta, Georgia, or in Atlanta, Georgia, but he's become more famous for being involved in the civil rights struggle. There's another in New York, Reverend Galamison. I don't know if you've heard of him out here. He's a Christian minister from Brooklyn, but has become famous for his fight against the segregated school system in Brooklyn. Reverend Cleave, right here, is a Christian minister here in Detroit. He's the head of the Freedom Now Party. All of these are Christian ministers. All of these are Christian ministers, but they don't come to us as Christian ministers. They come to us as fighters in some other category. I'm a Muslim minister. The same as they are Christian ministers, I'm a Muslim minister. And I don't believe in fighting today in any one front, but on all fronts. In fact, I'm a black nationalist freedom fighter. Islam is my religion, but I believe my religion is my personal business. It governs my personal life, my personal morals. And my religious philosophy is personal between me and the God in whom I believe. Just as the religious philosophy of these others is between them and the God in whom they believe. And this is best this way. Were we to come out here discussing religion, we'd have too many differences from the outstart, and we could never get together. So today, though Islam is my religious philosophy,
our 100% zakat policy means 100% charity, 100% smiles.
my political, economic, and social philosophy is black nationalism. You and I, as I say, if we bring up religion, we'll have differences, we'll have arguments, we'll never be able to get together. But if we keep our religion at home, keep our religion in the closet, keep our religion between ourselves and our God. But when we come out here, we have a fight that's common to all of us against the enemy who is common to all of us. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that the black man should control the politics and the politicians in his own community. The time when white people can come in our community and get us to vote for them so that they can be our political leaders and tell us what to do and what not to do is long gone. By the same token, the time when that same white man, knowing that your eyes are too far open, can send another Negro into the community, get you and me to support him so he can use him to lead us astray, those days are long gone. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that if you and I are going to live in a black community, and that's where we're going to live, because as soon as you move into one of their, as soon as you move out of the black community into their community, it's mixed for a period of time, but they're gone, and you're right there all by yourself. We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce. We must know what part politics play in our lives. And until we become politically mature, we will always be misled, led astray, or deceived or maneuvered into supporting someone politically who doesn't have the good of our community at heart. So the political philosophy of black nationalism only means that we will have to carry on a political program of re-education to open our people's eyes, make us become more politically conscious, politically mature. And then we will, whenever we get ready to cast our ballot, that ballot will be cast for a man of the community who has the good of the community at heart. And the economic philosophy of black nationalism only means that we should own and operate and control the economy of our community. You would never find, you can't open up a black store in a white community. White man won't even patronize you. And he's not wrong. He got sense enough to look out for himself. And it's you who don't have sense enough to look out for yourself. The white man is too intelligent to let someone else come and gain control of the economy of his community. But you will let anybody come in and control the economy of your community. Control the housing, control the education, control the jobs, control the businesses under the pretext that you want to integrate. No, you're out of your mind. The the economic philosophy of black nationalism on
My team and I all.
things that involved in a program of re-education to educate our people into the importance of knowing that when you spend your dollar out of the community in which you live, the community in which you spend your money becomes richer and richer. The community out of which you take your money becomes poorer and poorer. And because these Negroes who have been misled and misguided are breaking their necks to take their money and spend it with the man is becoming richer and richer, and you're becoming poorer and poorer. And then what happens? The community in which you live becomes a slum. It becomes a ghetto. The conditions become run down. And then you have the audacity to complain about poor housing in a rundown community. Why, you run it down yourself when you take it out. And you and I are in a double trap, because not only do we lose by taking our money someplace else and spending it, when we try and spend it in our own community, we're trapped because we haven't had sense enough to set up stores and control the businesses of our community. The man who's controlling the stores in our community is a man who doesn't look like we do. He's a man who doesn't even live in the community. So you and I, even when we try and spend our money in the block where we live or the area where we live, we're spending it with a man who, when the sun goes down, takes that basket full of money in another part of the town. So we're trapped, double trapped, triple trapped. Anywhere we go, we find that we're trapped. And every kind of solution that someone comes up with is just another trap. But the political and economic... Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies. Everybody is here. As many of you know, last March, when it was announced that I was no longer in the Black Muslim movement, it was pointed out that it was my intention to work among the 22 million non-Muslim Afro-Americans and to try and form some type of organization or create a situation where the young people, our young people, the students and others, could study the problems of our people for a period of time and then come up with a new analysis and give us some new ideas and some new suggestions as to how to approach a problem that too many other people had been playing around with for too long. And that we would have some kind of meeting and determine at a later date whether to form a black nationalist party or a black nationalist army. There have been many of our people across the country from all walks of life who have taken it upon themselves to try and pool their ideas and to come up with some kind of solution to the problem that confronts all of our people. And tonight we are here to try and get an understanding of what it is they've come up with. Also, recently, when
Lit Mobile just sent me this wireless solar power bank. Let's see what's inside. Power bank has 20,000 milliamps.
When I was blessed to make a trip or a pilgrimage, a religious pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca, where I met many people from all over the world, plus spent many weeks in Africa, trying to broaden my own scope and get more of an open mind to look at the problem as it actually is.
One of the things that I realized, and I realized this even before going over there, was that our African brothers have gained their independence faster than you and I here in America have. They've also gained recognition and respect as human beings much faster than you and I. Just 10 years ago on the African continent, our people were colonized. They were suffering all forms of colonization, oppression, exploitation, degradation, humiliation, discrimination, and every other kind of Asian. And in a short time, they have gained more independence, more recognition, more respect as human beings than you and I have. And you and I live in a country which is supposed to be the citadel of education, freedom, justice, democracy, and all of those other pretty sounding words. So it was our intention to try and find out what was our African brothers doing to get results so that you and I could study what they had done and perhaps gain from that study or benefit from their experience. And my traveling over there was designed to help to find out how. One of the first things that the independent African nations did was to form an organization called the Organization of African Unity. The purpose of our organization of Afro-American Unity, which has the same aim and objective, to fight whoever gets in our way. To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere, and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary. That's our motto. The purpose of our organization is to start right here in Harlem, which has the largest concentration of people of African descent that exists anywhere on this earth. There are more Africans here in Harlem than exist in any city on the African continent, because that's what you and I are, Africans. The Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights are the principles in which we believe, and that these documents, if put into practice, represent the essence of mankind's hopes and good intentions, desirous that all Afro-American people and organizations should henceforth unite so that the welfare and well-being of our people will be assured. We are resolved to reinforce the common bond of purpose between our people by submerging all of our differences and establishing non-sectarian constructive programs for human rights. We hereby present this charter. Number one, the establishment. The Organization of Afro-American Unity shall include all people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere. In essence, what it is saying, instead of you and me running around here seeking allies in our struggle for freedom, in the Irish neighborhood or the Jewish neighborhood or the Italian neighborhood, we need to seek some allies among people who look something like we do. And once we get their allies, it's time out for you and me to stop running away from the wolf right into the arms of the fox, looking for some kind of help. That's a drag. Number two, self-defense. Since self-preservation is the first law of nature, we assert the Afro-Americans' right to self-defense. The Constitution of the United States of America clearly affirms the right of every American citizen to bear arms. And as Americans, we will not give up a single right guaranteed under the Constitution. The history of unpunished violence against our people clearly indicates that we must be prepared to defend ourselves, or we will continue to be a defenseless people at the mercy of a ruthless and violent racist mob.
whole world is focused on China right now. But what if I told you there was a little known Chinese?
So there you have it, folks. The man was ahead of his time. Anything he said back then coincides with what he's saying right now. That right there. So, you know, this is what people say, you know what I'm saying? What they say before, what they say after we get to it. So they might be coming in stop. They can stop every time. Like, hey, that's just dry out, man. Where Matt Rizzo.